Imagine sitting across a US officer for your US visa interview. Instead of asking about your education and background, have you ever faced harm or mistreatment in India? Well, that's a question that was asked. Well, it is a tricky question, or there is something much bigger happening behind the scenes. Well, the answer begins with one of the most important principles of the US immigration system. If you're applying for a temporary visa, whether it's H-1B visa work, an F-1 or B-1, B-2 visa, you must convince the officer that your stay in America will be temporary and you intend to return home. But here's where the things become more complicated. If an applicant says that they have suffered serious persecution, targeted violence, and severe mistreatment in their home country, it could raise a new question in the officer's mind. So don't try to gain sympathy. This is a blunt question asked by most of the Indians. Are you applying for asylum? Well, not directly, but indirectly, because asylum claims or temporary visa operate under the very different legal principles. A temporary visa is based on the non-immigrant intent. An asylum claim is based on the fear of returning home, and if those two stories appear to conflict, the officers may examine the application much more carefully. However, that's only one part of the picture. US consular officer also questions important of border security, human trafficking screening, and whatnot. They want to identify whether someone is traveling voluntarily or could be a victim of trafficking, forced labor, corruption, or serious exploitation. In other words, the question isn't always about rejecting an application. Sometimes it is also about protecting the vulnerable individuals. Many applicants become nervous simply because they do not understand why the question is being asked. And the anxiety can lead to unclear answers or unnecessary confusions during the interview. Now, the best approach is not to guess what the officer wants to hear. It is to answer honestly. If you've never experienced the serious persecution or targeted unlawful harm, a simple and truthful no is enough. If you have experienced such circumstances, clearly state your truthfulness. Because US immigration authorities verify information carefully, and providing false or misleading statement can have serious consequences, including the future visa ineligibility. Now, to end on this, for Indian applicants, the lesson is simple. Success in a US visa interview is about memorizing perfect answers. It is about responding with confidence, clarity, honesty, and sometimes the shortest question in the interview carries the biggest meaning.